Hi, it's Constructive Greg. Today, 10 keyboard shortcuts that will save your clicks every single day in Tekla. No new features, no upgrade required, just defaults that have been sitting there the whole time. I'm starting with the one that even 10-year veteran misses. We document this now. We pass them down. Nobody relearns the hard way. For those who come after. Anyway, shortcut 1. Be honest. How often does Tekla start to the wrong point, that you want to pick the midpoint, but it goes to the endpoint or some artificial strange point? And you know what? You can very easily affect that behavior. So let's assume that I want to measure that part and I just want to pick the midpoint. Oh, now it's almost there. This is here and this is, yeah, oh, hey, with the tab, I can change those points. With the Shift+Tab, I can even go backward. So it's quite easy to pick the right point and have that measure exactly as you would like. There are two schools of rotating Tekla models. The first one, auto-rotate. So whenever I pick the middle mouse button, the rotation is there. And for some reason it works, but for me, only when I see the whole model. When I go very detail, then it doesn't work because it doesn't grab the point which I want to use. So I need some extra accuracy in that. So to do that, just turn off the automatic rotation center, and then if you press V, then you are the master. You can steer where it should go, just like that. So easy. But okay, the second tip about that is the insert button. So if you now press the insert just by pointing your mouse cursor, it will center the current canvas around the point which already is there. Of course, you can go like that, but very often that way is much faster. So just press insert and you will be centered around that point. To rule them all. That's a dream. That's a dream of a lot of Tekla magicians. But there is a way to do that, and this is this quick launch visible in the top right corner. This is the shortcut, and you can go into the text box by just pressing Ctrl+Q, and then you are there. So if you are curious, okay, so how I can model strands, then you can just type it here. And the shortcut, Ctrl+Q, is super fast. So use it, and then you will find the button which you tried to look on the ribbon or maybe the applications and components so easily. In Tekla, you can generate many views, flat, 3D, whatever you want. And especially when you're checking the model, how does those parts are connected with each other, then it's very easy to suffer with the behavior like that. So I see some strange rebar at the edge of that wall. I don't know what it is. So I select it here, and I see it here, and left click, and damn it, I don't have it. So one more time, I have it here, left click, why? And for that, there are two answers. The first one, just select the view, but I strongly recommend to use the middle mouse button, which holds your selection. So if I will now select that one, go with the middle mouse button, then it is still selected in every view. And it helps, truly it helps when you are dealing with some quality assurance for your models. Now, 3 shortcuts, 1 workflow, because the most time you spend in Tekla is for the selection. You have to select something. And you know that at the bottom right corner you have all of those ticks. But there is a shortcut, F3 and F2. So by pressing F2, you will enable all of those selections and disable. But with F3, you will change it only to select the parts. So if you don't want all of those bolts, welds, grids, stuff like that, just press F3 and that will be. To restore, just press F2. And if you are dealing with selection, then you should be familiar also with shortcut for this, Ctrl+G, because with that you will be able to open the selection filter very easily. But you know that very often when you work in a 3D, there is a need to hide something. And probably you are aware that you can select something, right mouse button, hide, it's there. But there is a shortcut for that. Just press Shift+H, and then you can hide all of those objects very quickly. Just like Tekla like. Selection. That's the key. So many times you will suffer that something is not added to the assembly, or it's added but it should not. And to quickly check that, you can select those elements with pressing the Alt. So now when I press that, I am not only getting the thing which is just under my mouse cursor, but I'm getting all of that. So I am curious, what is added to that column? I get it and I see that, okay, that bolt is a secondary part for that. Great. That's exactly how it should work. So I select something, I can show only selected, and then I have the content of all of those elements. Alt-click and you are there. When you try to insert something new in Tekla, there is quite a lot of possibility how you can do it. Let's try to insert that beam. So I'm just picking the first point, and then if I provide the direction, I can type how long it should be, just like that. But I can also do something like that. When I am after picking the first point, then I can press one of the three letters, R, A, or G. So the letter R is for the relative. And what does it mean? Now I can provide the point coordinates. So I want to have the second point, the coordinate 2000, 00. What does it mean? 2000 millimeters from the selected point along the global x-axis. Let's go. And here it is. This is the R. Then I have the A. This is the absolute coordinate input. So I will just press A, and that makes sense if you are working in a work plane. So now that will be measured from the work plane. So if I will now provide the same value, then that will go quite far away to the global coordination system, because now I don't have that work plane, but this is here. And if you have some kind of a work plane, then use A. If you always want to pick the global one, then you have the third option, that's G. And I will say that here, as I don't have the work plane, it will go exactly to the same point, but you see that now this is a different mark at the very beginning. So by doing that, you can provide some very specific offset like you would like. So yeah, let's go one more time with the beam, and the most used one is relative to the previous pick. So I pick R, and now I want to go 2000 in all directions, so I will get it like that. And that would be very, very hard to get that just by pointing to the direction. If you are working in a multiple tabs, you can of course change those by picking all of those from here, but there's also a shortcut, exactly the same like in the web browser. So just press Ctrl+Tab and you will be able to go to the next view. That works fine. And of course, if you need to go back and forth with the perspective and the plane view, then just press Ctrl+P and you will see your model from a top view. If not, one more time and the 3D view is restored. Beam positions. Those are the nightmare of the newcomers, because please try to explain what is on plane middle, what is at depth, behind, front, middle, and the rotation. What the hell? But you can go with all of those with just pressing Alt+arrow, and then your beam will just jump like that. That works very, very nicely. If you don't want to memorize the shortcut, you can always use contextual toolbar, which gives you that possibility, which is also very, very nice. So you can go like that, like that, like that, and it's very, very intuitive. So don't waste your time on trying to understand depth middle, just try to use Alt+arrow or that contextual toolbar shortcut. And if I am talking about the shortcuts for 9 minutes, then one last. Ctrl+Shift+C. And here you can create your own shortcuts, however you would like. And truly try to think about the most common Tekla features in your daily basis, because it's very, very beneficial to assign for those commands your own shortcuts to make Tekla as efficient as it should be for your workflow. Thank you. That's all what I have prepared. See you next time.